All right, in this video, we'll go over how to put together and assemble the wall stand. Now, it's really important that a carpenter does this. There's a reason why I did not include screws to connect it to the wall, because each wall could be a little bit different. We want to make sure that whatever you put up there is going to be stable and secure. So your carpenter is going to know exactly what screws, what anchors are going to be best to hold this. So in this case, we just put up a 1-inch piece of wood, and we connected it to the studs, and then we connected the wall stand directly to the piece of wood. And that works for this. Your wall may work better differently. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put together the vertical pieces. Roughly, we're going to want this piece to be about 14 to 15 inches. That's where you're going to put that bottom white frame. And then the two pieces are going to be approximately 35 inches from outside to outside. Now, with these horizontal pieces, there is a little bit of wiggle room as these two frame pieces connect to each other, not through the pole. So there's a little bit of give here, so it doesn't have to be exact. So when the carpenter's putting together, obviously they're going to be using a leveler for both the vertical and the horizontal pieces. So when you put in the horizontal pieces, just put them in loosely because we're going to move them around slightly. So now let's go back to the panel. So we're going to have these hooks. We're going to simply screw them in. Just put them in snug with your Phillips. We're going to have the top hooks curving downward. We're going to have the bottom hooks curving upward. And so when we attach, we're going to attach it to the horizontal piece on the top. And then that other horizontal piece is going to slide down and lock into place here. And then we're going to tighten it. On the back side here, you have the leader and the follower. So you will choose which panel you want to be the leader, and that's the one that's going to control all of them. So if you have a display that's on the front, then it's not going to matter which one you choose to be the leader. If you have a display that's on the side, it's going to be on the right-hand side here. You're going to choose one of the two panels that's going to be on the right side if you've got this set up for 4 panels. On the bottom, you have these 4 little white foot pegs. These can be unscrewed for the top 2 panels because what we want is to have as little space in between the panels. Also on the back, you'll have the connections for the leader follower. So you'll have the cable that goes from here to the second panel, then from the second panel to the third, and the third to the fourth. And this will synchronize all the panels together. And then you'll go ahead and do the daisy chains. So you'll have one panel plugged into the wall. It's best to have that plugged into a power outlet, a power strip that is a surge protector, just to keep things safe. And that way, when you're done with the session, you can simply turn that power strip off as opposed to having to reach in and turn it off there. The other connection is going to be your daisy chain. So this helps share electricity between the panels. So you want to make sure that if you're going to do all 4 into one outlet, that you have enough power for that. So that's something that you may want to check with your electrician. The other one is going to be where the daisy chain connects one cable here to the second panel, to the third panel, to the fourth panel. All right. So when you're getting ready to set these up, you're going to set up the bottom ones first. The key is we want to make sure we got the correct distance from the floor. It doesn't have to be exact, but somewhere around 3 to 4 inches from the bottom is going to be good. That way, the light's still going to be able to shine down and get the feed area, yet it's going to be high enough to get the majority of people at the top of their head, which is really the key. So what we're going to do first is get the top one situated. So for this, we're using a shorty on the bottom, and we're going to be using shorties on the top. So 4 shorties. The bottom of that horizontal is about 27 inches from the bottom. So roughly, you can set this for this. If you're doing the XL, which is about 10 inches taller than the shorty, you're going to go up to 32 inches on that top horizontal bar, and that'll still give you that 4 inches on the bottom. So once you have this one tightened, make sure that it's correctly level. Then you can take the one that's going to go in the bottom hooks. You're going to have that a little bit higher, and what you're going to do is slide it down until it clicks into the hooks, and this is where you can go ahead and tighten them. Now, there's a little bit of front and back wiggle room with this, so you may notice that the panel is tilted a little bit inward or a little bit outward, so you can easily adjust that by loosening that up, pulling this out, or pushing it in, and then retightening it. So now we'll go ahead and put the top panel on. We're going to just gently set it on top of the bottom panel, just so we can kind of gauge of where this needs to go. So on this top one, I need this to go up a few inches. So this is where you're going to have someone helping you, and they're going to slowly raise this top horizontal bar up to where it clicks into these hooks, and then you can go ahead and tighten them. Once that's completed, then you can take the bottom one and same thing, slide that down, and it'll click into these hooks. Once you have that, tighten everything up, make sure they're level, make sure that panel isn't leaning backwards or forward, and then you can do the other two. Once you have all 4 of them together, then you can go ahead and put all the little connection pieces in the back, and then you're ready to go.